Well done, my diamonds in the rough. Imamura Yudai, lock up. Well, I guess telling you that wouldn't really matter given your current state of being. Stretcher at Team Z, Ego says, and two men carrying a stretcher walk in. They put Imamurai on the stretcher and take him out of the room. So, my dear diamonds in the rough, how did it feel to put it all on the line? Your dreams, careers, your very lives. Having all that almost ripped from you, and especially you, Kira, ending somebody's hopes and dreams like that, and you don't even look the slightest bit dazed. It's almost like, pray tell, you've done this before. Looks like Anri-chan was wrong about you. I mean, that's nothing unexpected. She can hardly tell a screwdriver from a wrench, but still an interesting development nonetheless. I believe her exact words were, "Isn't he the literal embodiment of everything BLUELOCK stands against?" What a joke. The old Kira hasn't gone anywhere, has he? Or am I wrong, Mr. Jewel of Japan? Kira's eyes widen with disbelief. What the? How do you? Or, actually, maybe you prefer man. Shut up! Everyone in the room looks at Kira, absolutely stunned by his behavior. Struck a nerve, did I? Henri does say I do have too much fun messing with people, so I guess I should stop. But I do wonder if we're ever going to see that little trademark smile of yours again, Kira. I'd wager no, but hey, who knows? Kira doesn't say a thing, but he just glares at Ego with a look that would kill if it could. Anyway, that urgency you all just felt, that need for survival, you better etch that feeling into your brains, because that's the norm here. And the rush you currently feel knowing you survived, oh my friends, that is what victory feels like. Don't forget that either. Now, once again, congratulations. All 11 of you in this room have passed the BLUELOCK entrance exam. Now, look all around you. Everyone in this room are the people you will be living with. Sometimes you'll be working as a team. Other times, you'll be out to kill each other's dreams. Let your hearts race. Set your ego free. This is BLUELOCK, and you are Team Z. Isagi looks around the room, letting it sink in that these people are his teammates, but also his rivals at the same time. And that's when he sees Kira, who hadn't said as much as a word since he yelled at Ego. Isagi recounts how he almost cost Kira his dream, and begins to feel remorseful. Kira? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Huh? Kira's voice would cut right through Isagi's apology. Save it! Nothing I hate more than a fake apology. Those eyes? That look told me everything I need to know. If faced with the same situation, you do it again. It's just your nature. It's the nature of everyone inside this bloody place, and I'm pretty sure that's the bloody idea! Isagi is taken back a bit, but he doesn't affirm nor deny anything Kira just said. I need some air, Kira says, and he steps out of the room. Isagi would look down, thinking to himself, I almost ended Kira's dreams. I almost did something so horrible, but why? His fist begins to clench. Why do I feel so pumped up right now? Team Z had agreed to have a joint training session in their training room. They did this to gear themselves for what was to come, but also as a way to gauge the skills of their would-be rivals. As everyone trains, it becomes painfully evident to Isagi that apart from Igarashi, or Igaguri as he is called, he is probably the most physically inept person there. He feels rightfully embarrassed at the prospect. How am I supposed to contend with these guys? Just then, the one member that was missing, Kira, walks into the room, and everybody takes note of him, but then just focuses back on their own training, all apart from Isagi. Kira grabs the gym mat, goes to one of the corners of the room, and places it on the floor. Kira takes his top off to reveal a rather chiseled physique. Isagi sees this and can't decide on whether he should be jealous, surprised, or impressed. But just then, Isagi and everyone else in the room take note of something else. Kira's body was covered in various scars of different shapes and sizes. That's Kira? No way, right? Hey, Isagi, why would the jewel of Japan have scars like that? Igaguri would ask Isagi in a whispering tone. Good question, Isagi replies, but that's when he remembered something that Igo said to Kira earlier. The old Kira? He would mumble to himself. Huh? You're speaking too quietly, Igaguri would complain in a whispering tone. Huh? Oh, never mind, Isagi would respond. Kira would sigh before getting into position and beginning to do some push-ups. After doing this for a while, Isagi would gather the courage to walk over to him. Hey, Kira, Isagi greets but is given no response. Silent treatment, huh? Isagi would think to himself. After standing over him for a bit, Isagi would go down into the same push-up position as Kira, beside him, and would begin to do some push-ups of his own. Kira looks at Isagi with a side eye, but says nothing as he continues his set. After doing a little over 70 push-ups, Isagi's exhaustion becomes all but apparent. He turns to see Kira still going, so he grits his teeth and continues to go as well. Is this supposed to be your attempt at an apology, Yoichi? Isagi was shocked to hear Kira's voice. He wanted him to respond to him, but something about it just still felt unexpected. He still uses my first name, Isagi mumbles to himself before replying. No, you were right. Faced with the same situation, I would have shot that ball again. So, there really is no point in apologizing. Kira will look at him again with a side eye, watching him struggle to even speak through the push-ups. So what are you doing here? I'm here to get stronger, like you and everyone else. I won't be left behind. On hearing his reply, Kira would be silent for a bit before sighing. Okay then. Well, word of advice, you're not gonna get anywhere, not with garbage form like that. Isagi was grateful to have Kira finally respond to him again, but rather embarrassed at the fact that he'd been doing push-ups wrong the whole time. Bajira takes note of their interaction as he leaves the room, while Isagi proceeds to fall flat from exhaustion. I think I'm done for the day. Later in the day, Isagi would get his first taste of food at BLUELOCK. Well, this sucks, Isagi would complain, before hearing Igaguri complain as well behind him. This has to be against my fundamental human rights, or something. Why am I forced to eat pickled radish? Honestly, we might as well be grateful that we even get food, Isagi responds, before going to eat his meal. He also thinks about the things that Igo explained to them while they were in their room. Isagi remembers Igo explaining that the food that they get, the bed they sleep in, and their general treatment is based on whatever their rank is. He remembers that after their ranking went up, due to people getting disqualified for failing to pass the entrance exam, Kira was still the highest ranked player in his room. He turns his head looking for Kira to see what food he got, and just then, Igaguri tells him, "Yo, Isagi, look!" Isagi turns his head to see Kira eating his meal, and by Jove, was it a meal! He's eating like a king compared to us, Igaguri would complain as he glares at Kira in contempt. Kira notices and lifts up his head to look at them, and Igaguri freaks out and pretends that he was just eating. After a while, Kira finishes his meal and leaves the cafeteria. It was finally nighttime, and most of the members of Team Z were getting some much needed rest. But Isagi wouldn't be able to. All his inadequacies would hit him all at once. I don't have time to rest, he would think to himself as he got up and left the room. As he walked down the hallway into the training field, Isagi would be hit on the head by a ball. You gonna go train, right? Wanna do it together? He turns to see who assaulted him with the ball, and it was none other than Bachira. Huh? Sure, why not? Isagi would respond. They head into a training field and see Kira practicing his ball movement. Kira sees them and sighs, but he doesn't leave. He instead moves to the other half of the pitch. He always seems to be in a bad mood, Bachira says to Isagi as he begins to juggle the ball as he and Isagi move to the other half of the pitch. Is he always like that? Bachira asks Isagi as Isagi tries to steal the ball from him, but Bachira dribbles away. Huh? How would I know? Well, it seemed like you two were friends when you got here. Well, I guess I do know him more than most of you guys. He'd go for the ball again, but Bachira would dribble around him. But the difference is like a couple of minutes. But you are right though. When I met him, he was the exact opposite of this, Isagi would reply as he would look in Kira's direction. Bachira would send the ball through the space in Isagi's legs. Keep your eyes on the prize, mister. Isagi would turn, but not before having the ball get taken away again by Bachira. Isagi would feel dejected at the fact that he's being completely outclassed by Bachira. As his self-doubt grew, he began to remember how Bachira passed him the ball during the entrance exam. Isagi would stop and ask suddenly, Why? Why me? What do you mean? Bachira asks, not really sure what Isagi was going on about. Why did you pass me the ball during the entrance exam? You would have been eliminated if I chose not to kick it, so why? Kira would glance at the two of them with a side eye, curious to hear the answer as well, but also because he could hear a hint of desperation in Isagi's voice. Bachira would stop juggling the ball, and his face would change from playful to a serious look before replying, Oh, that? Oh, that's easy. It's because the monster told me to. Monster? Yeah, the monster, Bachira would reply as he shifts back to his playful nature. He comes out whenever I play soccer, telling me to score a goal or maybe weave about some more, but this time it was a little different. This time, Bachira would take the ball and get up close and personal with Isagi before saying, This time he told me to pass the ball to Isagi. He has a monster in him too. Bachira proceeds to weave away with the ball from Isagi. Don't you hear it? You don't hear the monster? Bachira asks Isagi with a rather concerned look. Isagi would think to himself, what is this guy talking about? Is he schizo or something? But wait, what if he has a point? I didn't recognize myself when I kicked that ball at Kira. Maybe, just maybe this monster that's supposedly inside me is the key to surviving BLUELOCK. Bachira would speak again. The monster also said something else to me. The monster said you've got a monster in you too, Kira, Bachira would say as he turned to look at Kira, and Kira would consequentially drop the ball and stop moving. Bachira continues. He said, Kira's got a monster, but it's locked up in a cage, and I was so sad to hear that, but then the monster said that the lock on the cage was real weak. One small push, and it would fall right off. So Kira, did the monster finally get out the cage? Did I push hard enough? Without turning to face them, Kira replies, So that's why you went for me. 'Cause of the monster, huh? Yep. Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Noel Noah, all the best strikers in the world have monsters too. It must be what proves that you're really a striker, Bachira answers. I don't know if monster is the appropriate term, but it sure is a fitting one. Kira was about to say more, but stops and starts to think to himself, what am I doing? I only joined BLUELOCK so I could prove Eagle's philosophy wrong, yet I'm just here acclimating to it. But Have I actually ever even stopped to really think about how I was gonna prove him wrong in the first place? What did he even say? In order to get to the top, you must only rely on yourself. You can only make it to the top if you take the solitary path of a solitary hero or some other self-centered crap. How am I supposed to? His thoughts were interrupted by Isagi almost stealing the ball away from Bachira, which forced Bachira to cross to his side of the field. Kira's eyes would widen as he came to a realization. That's it. What am I pondering so hard for? Like the answer I'm looking for is a tough one. I just have to be the one who gets to the top by doing the exact opposite of that. And here, right now is ground zero for achieving that. Kira turns and approaches them. He proceeds to ask Yoichi, what do you want? Why did you join BLUELOCK? Isagi is a bit stunned by the sudden question, but he answers, I want to make my dream of playing on Japan's national team a reality. Kira turns to Bachira and he asks, and how about you, monster guy? I guess it would be to play with people who can keep up with my monster. You know, people with monsters of their own, I guess. Bachira would answer as he juggles the ball. Well, to achieve those goals here, both of you would have to make it to the highest echelon of strikers. And in light of that, I've made a decision. Isagi and Bachira would respond in unison. Kira grabs both Isagi and Bachira and pulls them both towards him. Screw what anybody else has to say, especially Ego. I'm going to the top, and I'll be dragging the both of you there with me, whether you like it or not. Screw that solitary mumbo jumbo. I'll make sure to do it, even if it kills me. Both of them were surprised by Kira's outburst, but at the same time, they seem to have resonated with his newfound resolve. It looks like somebody finally let his monster out the cave, Bachira replies, and Isagi would respond to the prospect with a toothy grin while thinking their ambition is so strong. It almost feels a tad suffocating. Well, in any case, he finishes the thought out loud, I won't get left behind! And in response to Isagi's resolve, Kira would add, gear up boys, cause we're in it for the long haul. And boy is it gonna be one heck of a haul. And as for Ego, old Four Eyes won't even know what hit him. Three young strikers with their egos burning bright have formed an alliance that will surely be a force to be reckoned with here in BLUELOCK. Just then, their moment is interrupted by a female voice on the intercom. All strikers, report to your respective rooms for an important announcement. The three of them would react in unison. When all the members of Team Z were present in their room, a broadcast of Ego would appear on the screen. Hello, my dear unrefined diamonds in the rough. How was your first day? Did you enjoy mingling with your fellow strikers? I for one hope you did, because it's finally time to get down to business. It's time for your first selection. The first selection will involve 5 teams made out of the 55 of you in this building. It's a kind of 5-team round robin. Only the top 2 teams will move on to the next selection, with exceptions given to the highest scoring members of each team. So even if your team is eliminated, if you're the highest goal scoring member, you get to move on. A player in the room with sleek red hair, Chigiri Hyoma, would interject. So what? All of us in this room are supposed to play as a team? How's that gonna work? We're all forwards. This would spark little arguments and disagreements in the room about who would play what position, with many contesting for the position of center forward. I must qualify to play center forward! Yeah, in your dreams, you must be half blind, because there's no way you're seeing me and still saying that. He intends for all of us to play as forwards. Kira's voice would cut through the arguments. Am I wrong? Kira asks Ego directly. Ego would smile and respond, it seems someone is extremely acclimating well to BLUELOCK. Oh, nothing like that. It's just a sort of harebrained idea that tends to come out of that crazy train of thought you have. Kira would snap back. Harebrained, huh? It seems a little history lesson is in order. It seems not all of you nitwits know, so I'll enlighten you. Soccer was originally all about scoring goals. Over the years, idiotic notions of different positions were imprinted on you, but initially, soccer started with everybody acting as a striker. So in this selection, you will play the game the way it was intended to be played. Dig deep and create soccer from zero. I've already told you to abandon every notion you once held about soccer. Instead, shove new concepts into those tiny brains of yours. To trump the best in the world, new tactics and systems must be put into play, and through this, a better player will be forged. Now, if you are prepared to do whatever it takes and fight your way to the very top inside of BLUELOCK, gear up and let the first selection begin! Bachira wouldn't be able to contain his excitement as they got dressed for their match. If Ego's right, then the guys we're going up against are supposed to be stronger than us. Get ready for a tough match, guys. Kunigami would say. Right, Isagi would respond, but not with a lot of enthusiasm. Kira would pat him on the back and say, hey, you can't afford to start feeling unsure of yourself when it's time for a battle. If you do, the fight's lost before it even begins. Battle? Isagi would ask. Yes, battle. That's what every soccer match is. And we can't afford to have a single fighter on low morale. Plus, it ain't like you're going to war alone either, remember? Straight to the top, I said. Bachira smiles as he hears Kira say this. He adds himself to the conversation saying, Kira's right, you know. You're supposed to be all fired up, not down in the dumps. Come on, Isagi. Let's go show them what the monster trio is made of. We're gonna have to workshop that name a bit, but yeah, let's do this. The pep talk gives Isagi all the fighting spirit he needs. They head to the pitch where they come face to face with their opponents, Team X. I don't have time for doubt. I'll survive. Just watch me.